For today's video, I do want to speak about the feelings within the club, right? How was the Barcelona players feeling about Xavi Hernandez? What are the current thoughts about Xavi's position itself? We're also going to be talking about should Xavi get sacked and what are the possible solutions that Joan Laporta could go to if he were to be sacked. So if you guys are new here, welcome to the channel. I'm happy that you guys are here. If you guys are Barcelona fans, this will be the channel for you where we do talk about everything regarding FC Barcelona. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you guys do enjoy this video and this channel, and if you guys end up liking this video, please feel free to support me by either subscribing to the channel or liking this video. So let's get on with the conversations, right? It has been stated by Adrian Sanchez that there are some Barcelona players that are admitting they don't understand Xavi Hernandez. Javi Miguel has also stated that in some sectors within Barcelona, a prevailing sense of concern has started to take root. And so look, you can already see that there is an agenda being built around Xavi Hernandez's name, and I understand that because of how Barcelona have been performing. There is a lot of negativity going on, and one of the reasons on why Xavi Hernandez's name is on fire is because the whole team has not been doing well. Like the whole team. Usually in the past 2 years, we have been hearing that maybe 1 to 2 players have not been up to the task and that they are the weak links of the squad. But this time the difference is every player here does not look interested in playing football, and that gets me very nervous, right? Because could this actually be Xavi Hernandez's fault for him to be unable to communicate what he wants from his players, being unable to motivate his team to do well? The last time I ever heard about something like this in regards to a coach being unable to communicate instructions or motivate the team has been with Quique Setién back in 2020. There is a report that was talking about how Quique Setién cannot give the instructions correctly, the players don't understand what he's trying to say. There's literally a report like that. And so now everybody's coming to the conclusion that Xavi is not the coach to bring Barcelona back into its glory days. Everybody has been stating that. That is the feeling. And I can understand this frustration. I understand why everybody has been wanting to see Barcelona do better, because we want to see Barcelona be better than the previous season, right? Climbing up the ladder. But we have not done that. What we have seen is Barcelona go down 3 to 4 steps, and massive steps. And not just the results, but also like the movements of the players. The players look more stiff. They look disinterested. They look uninspired. If you guys want to have a better idea on what I mean by this, by these players looking very uninspired and not looking like they want to play football, go look at my previous video that I have just posted. I'm going to be putting a link on the pinned comment so you guys can see exactly what I am talking about. They're going to be videos. And so look, I want to point out 3 different things. Point number 1, we have seen a coach do worse than what Xavi has been doing with Barcelona. For example, Arteta has spent 680 million euros in the past 4 years as the manager of Arsenal and only winning 1 FA Cup and 1 Super Cup. Klopp spent 613 million euros since 2015 and has only won 1 Premier League and 1 Champions League. Maybe Pep Guardiola might be the only one that can justify his number, but still, spending 1.2 billion on players is insane. And I believe that 900 million or 950 million euros of that number was spent before Pep Guardiola won the Champions League. So it took him almost 1 billion euros to finally get to the UCL. But no one talks about Arteta, Klopp, and Pep and how they should be leaving their clubs and how they're spending all of this money but to win almost nothing based off the amount of money they have spent with the club. No one talks about that. But with Xavi only spending 100 million euros max at his time at Barcelona, maybe I think even less, everybody wants to say that Xavi is not the right one to coach Barcelona even after he won La Liga and the Super Cup. But let's assume that the media keeps saying that Xavi is not the right coach and the media is giving pressure to Joan Laporta and Laporta is considering. Let's just say Laporta ends up saying, I'm gonna be sacking Xavi Hernandez because it's just simply just too much. I have to protect my image, I have to protect my reputation. I can't keep a coach at Barcelona for so long and giving me poor results. I need to do something. Let's just say that ends up happening. If Xavi does get sacked, here is going to be the question that I want to ask everybody here. Who in the hell is going to be coming next after Xavi Hernandez? Like, really think about that. Really think about that, okay? Because again, let's assume that Xavi Hernandez loses 2 or 3 games in the next 6 matches, right? Everything's on fire. Xavi's not doing well. Or Xavi Hernandez has an average season this season, right? We only end up in 2nd or 3rd place of La Liga. We win 1 Copa del Rey. We lose the Super Cup and we end up getting knocked out in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Let's just say something average does happen and Xavi gets sacked. Again, who comes next? Like, you guys have to give an answer. You can't just say Xavi should be sacked, because if you say that, give an answer right after that. You guys should be saying, okay, Xavi should be sacked and this is going to be the coach that I think should replace Xavi. Because if everybody does not have an answer or a definitive answer, then what is the whole point of sacking Xavi? And that's going to go for even Deco, Joan Laporta, and whoever's in charge of the sporting department. They can't just say, let's let go of Xavi Hernandez and that's about it. They need to have an answer. They gotta have replacements. And so to me, I think that there is 3 three solutions. One of them could be Rafael Marquez from Barcelona Athletic. Another one could be De Zerbi from Brighton. But most importantly, another one could be Hansi Flick, who does not have a coaching job at the moment. I think that Joan Laporta, if he were given the opportunity, if Xavi does have his departure, he would go for a German coach, which could be Hansi Flick. He's a huge fan of German coaches. Joan Laporta is just like that. I don't know why. But here's the problem that I do see with Hansi Flick. If Hansi Flick comes in, he's going to be demanding for a very athletic and physical squad. That is just how the coach is. He's going to be asking for the departures of this player and this player and that player, and then wanting that player from Chelsea or that player from Bayern or that player from Arsenal or Liverpool or Inter Milan or AC Milan, wherever, right? And especially in the middle of the pitch, he's going to want midfielders that are very physical and very vertical. So for example, Hansi Flick most likely would be asking for Musiala from Bayern Munich because he's vertical, he's physical, he's talented on the ball. He's also going to be asking for players like Liao, who is very physical, tall, strong, has a lot of pace, or someone like Kylian Mbappe. He's a huge fan of having wingers who are physical monsters. So if he does come in by the summer of 2024, for example, say goodbye to Lewandowski, say goodbye to Sergio Roberto, say goodbye to Gundogan, Marcos Alonso, Joao Felix, Oriol Romeo. Many of these players would definitely be leaving under Hansi Flick because his image is very different to Xavi Hernandez. And I know it sounds pretty cool, right? To say, okay, bye Gundogan, bye Sergio Roberto, bye Marcos Alonso. Many of you guys are not even fans of most of these players. It sounds good and it sounds cool to have Kylian Mbappe, Liao, Musiala, right? It would be amazing. But the thing is that Barcelona don't have the leverage for those players, at least in my opinion and how I see it. I don't know how much Barcelona can afford in the future. I'm not one of the accountants of Barcelona. I always say this. I'm not somebody that works inside the club. I don't know anything about the financials of Barcelona, but I'm assuming based off what we have been hearing that they don't have the leverage to sign who Hansi Flick does want. And to me, that's a problem. To Hansi Flick, that's also going to be a problem. He's going to have to assess before he even accepts this job whether it will be the right move for him to go to Barcelona, because he has already screwed up with Germany. So he has one strike. Why would he go to Barcelona knowing that he's going to be having a lot of trouble signing the players that he does want and then potentially build a team that does not reflect his image? And then from there, you're going to be repeating the exact same stories that we're currently having with Xavi Hernandez. Hansi Flick might be failing in some departments. Sportingly with Barcelona, people are going to be creating stories about how Hansi Flick knows nothing about football, that he's finished, he only had one good spell with Bayern Munich. Then people are going to be saying we should have kept Xavi Hernandez and build on top of his project, and just again a bunch of headaches. That is why I feel like there is no point for us to sack Xavi and to bring in a brand new coach. There's no point on doing that. We should just continue to have faith on Xavi, and that is why I do stand here today with my 2 feet. I want to back Xavi. I want to support the coach. I think that he is still the man to take us to our glory days. And so because of all of this noise that has been going on, because Barcelona have not been performing at their 100% best, there has already been some talks on Barcelona going for a specific player in January based off the problems that they have right now. It says here, according to Sky Sports, that Xavi is determined to sign Lo Celso in January. He has asked the board to make it possible. Xavi sees this as proof of their support for him. So to me, in my opinion, I feel like the reason why Lo Celso is wanted by Barcelona, it is to replace Pedri, because Pedri has not been showing good sensations on the pitch. He looks slow, he looks unmotivated, and I think that Xavi's starting to realize that maybe Pedri does need some competition because he can't always play in every game, because if you put him in every game, you're going to make him think that he's untouchable. And so I think that someone like Lo Celso would be a great competitor to Pedri to take his spot. And I can see Xavi saying, okay, our midfield is going to be this: Frenkie, Gundogan, Lo Celso. If this midfield does well for a few games, Pedri will have to sit on the bench until he shows me that he's good enough. Very similar to the situation of Alejandro Balde. So we'll see if Barcelona can make a signing like Lo Celso happen, because he's great between the lines, a true creator. And so that is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.